So this is the sheet that tells us everything about what we're doing. So if you notice the current supply, 98,490,325. We added back, of course, all the tokens that were burn staked because people will have the option whether they take them back or they just pass them over as burned or however. So we've got to account for those. So that's the current supply minus what we've actually burnt just regular. All right, current price when we shut down was 0.0142. Market cap was 1.33 million. We had about 100,000 in liquidity. There's the tokens in liquidity. There's liquidity percent. All right. Now, if you go down to the next thing, so we're going to be increasing the market cap 10%. That's the boost that's actually going to increase the market cap. So right now I've got it set to 1 million. So let's say we raise 1 million tokens. $1 million of new funds. Total supply 420 million. The new liquidity reserves, which we've got set for 10%, about 205,000. The new market cap would be 2.563 million. New tokens for liquidity, all that. So if we did a 1 million total, and that's where we stopped it, if you go down here to the bottom, you see a 1 million token holder bag was worth a little over $14,000, 14.2. After, with the new token circulation, that new wallet would hold 2.5 million, worth 15,620. That's with a 10% bonus. That's for the people that hold OPHX right now. It's not counting Presale, just OPHX right now. 10% bonus. That multiplies out that many tokens out of the 420 million supply to make your bag worth 15,620. So that's how this thing breaks down. And all that changes according to what we raise. So let's say we go up here and we raise 2 million instead of 1 million. Kick that in, it automatically kicks in all of the numbers. Now, for 1 million tokens, that was worth 14.2, you would get 1.790 million worth 15,620. So all that has to do with what we raise. That's how the dilution happens to go from our original supply of 100 million up to the new supply of 420. And that number changes every time we go up. So let's say we hit our cap of 5 million raise. That's what you're looking at. So starting price of 0.0165. That's with the 10% bonus. It would take 942,180 tokens to be worth 15,620. That's if we maxed out our raise. Do I think we'll cut it off before then? Probably, unless the raise just is going extremely well. Because, of course, the more funds we have, the better it's going to be. Because that lets us to do everything else we're talking about, including grants for developers to come on chain, marketing out the wazoo, plenty of buyback funds for anybody that jumps out early, stuff like that. And then also the rainy day funds for the next, let's say it takes a year for the chain to start, actually really producing or getting a lot of transactions per day. Because that's what matters is transactions. No matter what they come from, as long as we get transactions, that's where the funds come in at. That allows us to be able to keep the chain running flawlessly with no issues all the way through if we don't make a dime for a couple years. So that's where everything lays out. And the way I've got it set up, which this is a good number, what I like to start with, about 10% liquidity. That'll be about 557,000 in liquidity with 10% of the tokens. So that's kind of a breakdown of what it looks like. And like I said, that's why everything depends on the raise, because it's not a 1-to-1 ratio change. We're actually increasing the supply in a percent base, money value base. That way it frees up tokens for us to sell to bring up or to raise the funds needed to make this thing successful. So at a 5 million raise, the new market cap would be just under 7 million. And that's about it. Any questions on this?
No questions, but it does sound bullish.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. Like I said, it's this is what we've wanted from the start. And originally it was just going to be a regular blockchain. We were going to try to do some cool stuff. It wasn't nothing like what it's going to be now. And this actually has the ability to draw developers in because of the increased LP or the appreciating LP, and the ability for projects, even if ones that, are just kind of community type projects, say they don't have a lot of volume and they don't, there's not a lot of buying and selling, they can still have a price floor raised just for being on the chain. So that makes it nice. And then you get the ones that, have the insane, volume. Hey, that's good too. That's more transactions. That's better for the chain. And I know we've already, which I guess I don't know if it's been mentioned or not, but of course we're partnered with PVP. We get a kickback from them. They're going to introduce our chain as soon as we get live with it. So that'll be a way that you can be able to play on the Infinaeon chain, using Infinaeon ETH instead of BNB, and gas is cheaper, plus it's tons of transactions. So I know a lot of people had, confusion about how this worked. And this is how you do that change without messing up a current holder's amount of money. Because in the end of the day, value is what it's all about. If you've got 5,000, you've got 5,000. Just like I mentioned in some of the texts that I wrote out, I can manipulate the market cap to do whatever it is I want it to do. I can make a token have 100 million market cap just by adjusting the LP. But that doesn't hold any weight because there's no LP there for anybody to sell into. This does it in a fluid range to where it changes everything replicable to the increase in supply. All right. Well, if no questions, I'm going to stop the recording and then we can just chit chat or whatever. But I wanted to get this out there. That way we could have a video or a VC showing it. That way anybody that had a question about it, they can reference it. That way they know and they don't have to guess what it looks like.